A very good evening from the KTN News Center. It is Tuesday, 16th of September 2014. Tonight we have continued our special coverage of the first anniversary of the Westgate massacre continues. Plus, we have the latest on what's happening both locally and the region.
In staying with regional matters, we will be looking at that circular that was released today by the South Sudanese government. Who is it targeting? What does it mean? You want to get the answers on KTN Prime. Thank you for joining us. I'm Linda Ogudo, our sign language interpreter. At the bottom end of your screen is Mary Fesha. Oh, wait.
Ben Kitibili, these are the tourists tonight. We begin tonight with news that has taken the region by storm. The South Sudanese government wants all foreigners working in the country to have left their positions by the 15th of October.
Well, the new directive, which was reportedly published in the South Sudanese newspapers, requires foreign workers from all sectors, including aid workers, to leave their positions to qualify South Sudanese nationals. KTN's Edith Kimani reports.
It is through the single-page circular that foreign nationals working in the Republic of South Sudan would find out they were no longer needed in the fragile country. In it, 4 sentences telling them that just a month to work in the South Sudanese Republic. All non-governmental organizations, private companies in general, it read in part, are directed to notify all the aliens working with them in all the positions to cease working as from 15th October. The statement had no explanations. Oxfam, a non-profit charity deeply rooted in South Sudan, was one of the first to react. We need to be expanding aid programs in South Sudan, not just restricting them. Their statement read in part. Oxfam is just one of many organizations providing aid to an estimated 1.5 million displaced victims of violence in South Sudan. Drought has further crippled the nation and seen influx of foreign nationals, including a record 25,000 Kenyans working in the country. In a recent interview with KTN, South Sudanese President Salva Kiir gave no indication of halting this investment opportunity.
Nobody targets any foreigner here. Kenyans, Ugandans, all our countries in the region here, we see their citizens as citizens of South Sudan.
Information Minister Michael Makwe, in what appears to be a defensive stand, told AFP that the order only applied to jobs South Sudanese could do. But circular was specific, asking employers to advertise job opportunities for positions ranging from executive directors to secretaries. Kenya now finds itself in an awkward position where it has to effectively mediate talks between South Sudanese President Salva Kiir and former Vice President Riek Machar, all while protecting the interests of its citizens investing or working in South Sudan. Their livelihoods are now under threat following this new directive. Edith Kimani, KTN.
Get some clarification on this circular that has created quite a stir. Speaking to Dr. Marianne Ngongol, South Sudanese Ambassador to Kenya. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for speaking to us on KTN Prime.
Thank you for having me.
But there is a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion on that particular circular. Allow me to quote part of it. It says, this ministerial circular shall be cited as ministerial circular prohibiting and regulating the services and employment of aliens in certain positions in the private sector in South Sudan. The same circular, however, goes ahead and says all non-governmental organizations, private companies, general banks, insurance companies, telecommunication companies, petroleum companies, hotels and lodges work in South Sudan are directed to notify all the aliens working with them in the positions to cease working from 15th of October 2014. Who is this circular targeting, Mr. Ambassador?
This circular is not targeting any non-South Sudanese national. This circular is stating the fact that South Sudan as a nation has arrived to a point whereby it is establishing laws that will define certain positions in companies and financial institutions that are working in South Sudan to give priority to citizens of South Sudan. However, where they cannot find a suitable candidate due to criteria, qualification criteria and experience, but there will be a process where they will be allowed to bring a qualified person outside South Sudan.
Mr. Ambassador, you're saying South Sudan is trying to come up with laws. What particular problems are you trying to solve with this particular circular?
As you know, as a young nation, over 3 years old, legislation and acts of parliament or the like take time to be developed. What South Sudan is doing is what all other nations does, and that is when a foreign company is being established in South Sudan, there are laws that safeguard certain position for the citizen of the country, in this case South Sudan. Therefore, it is not really aimed at targeting any particular South Sudanese. For example, some companies already have South Sudanese employed. If they have met those criteria, they will be ticked as having complied already. There will be no reason to actually continue to ask them for what the law have already provided them. It is not different from any other country in the region, Africa and internationally. That is what we are doing.
Right, Mr. Ambassador,
South Sudan as a nation is very mindful of the fact that we have an economy that is well integrated into the region, and the need of the citizen of our neighbors, especially Kenya, will be safeguarded.
Mr. Ambassador, this is where there is a concern. Your country has been embroiled in civil war for such a long time. Some of your citizens are just making their way back to South Sudan. Are South Sudanese ready to take up these particular jobs that the government is now asking for from foreigners?
And that is why that law is carefully drafted to an extent that where employment will also benefit South Sudan, and South Sudanese are not qualified to take those positions, there will be understanding and permit will be provided. This law we are discussing today have just been unveiled, but it is still under consideration as to how it will affect investment companies, and also what are the views of our neighbors and friends.
So basically, Mr. Ambassador, what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
Mr. Ambassador, basically, so basically what you're trying to say is that foreigners have nothing to worry about even with this circular?
Foreigners, as you are reading and as you have just read to me, nothing to worry about it. As we are talking, Kenyan ambassador to South Sudan is in discussion with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So we are taking views, and those views will be put into consideration. But this is a normal procedure. All countries do establish. You talk of a civil war in South Sudan.
Mr. Ambassador, I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you short, Mr. Ambassador. Can you hear me? I'm sorry to cut you short. Thank you so much. We ran out of time, but thank you so much for sharing your insights with us on KTN Prime on that particular sector from South Sudanese government. Dr. Marian Ngor, South Sudanese Ambassador to Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
The Big Q in association with Kenya Power.
Sorry, is the basis of the question tonight, and we are asking you: is South Sudanese government justified in asking for foreigners to quit jobs in favor of locals?
Hashtag tonight is South Sudan jobs. Let us know what you think. You can tweet us KTN Kenya at Linda Ogudo to Aden _Ketele. We'll have to sample your views on that particular issue on KTN Prime. Great. Watching KTN, thank you for staying with us. Let's stay with South Sudan and look at the strides that this country has made in the last couple of years. South Sudan is a country that voted in referendum to secede from the North in January 2011, thereby creating Africa's newest state. Of course, the entire region was very pleased with this, but there were concerns of political instability. Those concerns came to fruition in July 2013 when President Salva Kiir sacked his entire cabinet, including his deputy Riek Machar, and that, of course, was the beginning of trouble in South Sudan. It was said that the two leaders were fighting for power in that particular scuffle, and that was the beginning of the pain that has been witnessed by South Sudanese as national. In December 2013 to March 2014, foreign countries began evacuating their nationals from South Sudan. Here's what had happened. That war between these two leaders led to infighting, led to internally displaced persons within South Sudan, and very many countries start evacuating their citizens from South Sudan, including Kenya. If you recall, President Uhuru Kenyatta asked the army to evacuate Kenyans from South Sudan. Now, in May 2014, there were peace talks that began, of course, between two leaders. No deal has been signed as yet as we speak, and of course, the whole hope that these two leaders will sort of come to an agreement. The two parties are currently represented in a meeting that is being held in Ethiopia. Hope that will form a transitional government of national unity. And we focus on what is happening today with that killer that is focusing on the foreign workers ban. And we just spoke to the South Sudan ambassador to Kenya. He says all foreigners have nothing to worry about. That killer seems to put the South Sudan has banned all foreign workers from South Sudan. This is why this particular ban will be of concern to the region and indeed South Sudan itself. In August this year, the United Nations made it clear that South Sudan may face famine by the end of the year. Residents, citizens in South Sudan will need humanitarian aid. Apart from that, it is not just the war that is killing South Sudanese nationals. As we speak, they also have internally displaced persons, about 1,500 of South Sudanese residents needing dire help there. So whichever way this goes, South Sudanese government is expected to handle this in a way that will make sure its citizens do not suffer by this particular circular.
Indeed, Linda, and despite the evacuation that Linda talked about, there are still several thousands of Kenyans working in South Sudan. So we would like to join that conversation. Hashtag South Sudan. Let's now go to another developing showdown here at home. The chairman of the Council of Governors, Isaac Ruto, went to sue National Assembly leader of majority, Aden Duale, if he does not apologize to him. Ruto, a cross-section of leaders, are demanding that Duale apologizes for comments he made at a function in Narok yesterday. As KTN Zulson Bura now tells us, Duale has maintained he has nothing to apologize for.
It is commentators that elicited varied reactions after Duale seemed to go a bit too far while telling off Bulletin Governor Isaac Ruto of his call for referendum. And now leaders both in Jubilee and Accord are demanding an apology from Duale, claiming that he went too far.
Did hii pesa governors na watu wa Kenya wanaomba iende mashinani is the money of our mothers and fathers, because indeed our mothers and fathers pay taxes.
Lazima tupeane heshima, tuache kupeleka matusi mbele ya wananchi.
The Bulletin governor is threatening to sue Duale for alleged information over the remarks. Ruto said that the remarks by Duale were bad faith meant to bring him to disrepute. But it's not just Ruto who is threatening legal action against Duale. Kalmaruma says if the majority leader does not apologize, he will be moving to the High Court to have him declared fit to hold public office, but not before attempting to out him in Parliament.
I will be bringing a motion or a petition in Parliament to discuss the conduct of Aden Duale, one as a member of Parliament, two as a leader, but most importantly as majority leader.
But the National Assembly Majority Leader insists that he has nothing to apologize for, insisting rather that the Met governor must account for the 184 million shillings meant for development in his county. He added that his remarks were not in any way meant to offend women, but was demanding accountability of the usage of our public resources. Wilson Buru, KTN Prime.
The Nairobi National Museum has opened a 2-month-long exhibition in memory of those who have survived and those who died in the Westgate tragedy. This exhibition, which was launched this morning by the First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, is titled Our Nairobi Westgate Memorial and will feature concerts, testimonials and featured writings. There is a room within the museum with video testimonials and a wall with all the names of 67 innocent people who were killed on the 21st of September 2013. The opening ceremony was attended by some of the families that lost loved ones. The exhibition is open to the public.
There's innocent souls that were lost.
As a country, we stand in solidarity with the victims and survivors of the attack, both in Kenya and elsewhere in the world. I acknowledge this is the time that brings much pain and sorrow to many, and is still a time of healing, having lost members of our family in this senseless massacre ourselves.
As Kenyans affected by the terror at Westgate begin to rebuild their lives, the owners of various businesses at the mall are also struggling to recover from the losses, not just of hard material property, but also of lost customers. Among those who lost heavily was Nakuma, the anchor tenant at the Westgate shopping complex. Westgate saw an average monthly turnover of 150 million Kenyan shilling and was the biggest in terms of size and sales volume in East Africa. Nakuma MD Atul Shah tells Nakuma Westgate story and our continued special coverage after this message.
We have the support of our customers.
Today is Saturday, September 21st, 2013. And it is a normal day for Atul Shah, the managing director of Nakuma Holdings Limited.
As usual, I was in the office. This is my normal day.
At around noon, he receives a call, and the news concerns Nakuma's flagship outlet at Westgate Shopping Mall.
I was told that there was some gunshots at the Westgate, and there was panic. First reaction, I thought it was a bank robbery. It ended in a couple of minutes, and all will be well, and let's hope that nobody gets injured.
The tone of subsequent calls, however, changed drastically, and Atul knows there is nothing ordinary about what is going on at Westgate. As peculiar as it may sound, this is not a normal robbery. Westgate is under a terrorist attack.
Started receiving many calls that it is an attack. It's a terrorist attack, and people are being shot at, people are dying.
Being a Saturday, the mall was awash with thousands of shoppers who were doing the weekend shopping, and many more visited the food and entertainment stores available at the mall. Among them, Java Coffee House, a cafe, Ivory, and Onami.
Minimum we would serve at Westgate would be about 3,500.
Fortunately, Nakuma trained staff to handle all manner of emergency situations, and that training had saved the lives of hundreds of shoppers.
Before the attackers entered Westgate, all shop wasn't. They had cleaned out, they had removed all the people from the back entrance, which was a very good thing. I think otherwise we would have had a lot more deaths. That was a busy day. I'm sure we would have had over 500-600 people shopping in the mall.
But in the process, 3 employees passed away.
I didn't want to be late that it was happening, and it was like a movie. But yes, at the end of the day, we had about 80 people dead.
Still, Atul was optimistic the loss from closure of this business for 3 days would be absorbed once the mall was reopened. But then already bad situation took turn for the worst on the 4th day.
And suddenly we see smoke, and the next minute we know there's no Nakuma.
and the losses suffered by Nakumatt multiplied from millions to billions in the blink of an eye.
I mean, trade loss in terms of our stocks and fixtures, we have a loss of approximately 600 million trade. Not even counting the loss of business, we have been closed for almost a year now. How long will it take again before we are operational at Westgate? So all that is a loss.
Nakumatt taken out interim cover from methane insurance to cover what had until then been unlikely events, and the firm received a 1 billion shilling insurance payout to cover loss of stocks, furniture, fittings and fixtures. However, because of the improbability of an attack, Nakumatt had not insured the full loss of the business, which the firm estimated to be 3 billion shillings.
Whatever we had covered 5 years ago is what we kept on going, without thinking, without assuming, without even saying that one day we will use that. So yes, we just kept it covered. Of course, we were not adequately covered, like everybody knew. So yes, we have taken a big loss.
And this served as a useful lesson for the retail store.
And now covering to the limits of today.
Do you want to reopen your branch here in Westgate?
There are bad memories, but I think everybody wants Westgate back. It had become part of everybody's life also. It is something that people are missing. So yes, Westgate, everybody wants it. We want it back.
When they are estimating that the shopping mall will be back to life.
Shopping mall is good or not. There is some work going on in terms of cleanup and some renovation going on. Another 7, 8, 1 year down the line, I think we should be back operational.
In the meantime, Nakumatt stepping up its expansion plan throughout the East African market. The company opened a new $2 million outlet in Arusha, bringing the total employment count to 7,000 and the number of branches to 50, 14 of which are in Uganda, Tanzania and Rwanda.
Nakumatt, of course, is becoming a household name. It is bringing what the consumers are looking for and more. Besides bringing the ambience and variety and the customer service, and then, of course, the 24-hour convenience of shopping.
The firm plans to expand into South Sudan and Burundi and increase its penetration in the East African market from the current 14% to at least 30% in the next 10 years. To reach the goal, the firm says it's eyeing a $50 million investment for private equity firms or financial institutions and may consider entering a partnership with other retail chains in exchange for a stake. It's plans to list at the NSE. Can you tell about that?
NSE, I mean, we're looking at it for 4 or 5 years down the line. At the moment, we are putting our feet in East Africa everywhere. We're expanding correctly, expanding well, and then in time to come, we want whatever East African shoppers to open part of market.
For now, though, Nakumatt said it is looking to improve the ambience in its stores and increase the number of outlets to increase footprint in the region.
We're looking at 75 and 100 in the near future. I think in the next 5 years we will be at 100 branches, of course predominantly in East Africa, but we are also looking at going beyond East Africa. Opportunities many, but East Africa alone has a lot of opportunities.
As Henry Thoreau said, all misfortune is but a stepping stone to fortune. And for Nakumatt and other businesses, the West incident will just be a speed bump to even greater success in the future. Adele Changole, KTN.
After the siege, special coverage of the first anniversary of the Westgate massacre continues, and there is more come your way.
Indeed, it's a week-long coverage. Yesterday, we had family members who lost their loved ones. Today, we're looking at businesses. If all Quara joins in studio, even this is a week-long coverage. What can we expect in the coming days?
That's right. We already talked to victims. We did that with Catherine Omanto's piece on Monday. Yesterday, we talked to how those who are left behind by family members are coping with loss. Today, businesses, and you can expect much more as we carry on with this week-long coverage. It all culminates into bottom line, and we've been doing this every month. This month we focus on the Westgate siege, what happened, and that's why we're calling it after the siege. And we will have many of those victims, or in fact, Catherine on the month of them in her story, survivors. That's right. Those who've been able to live through that, and we'll also be just taking a look at how it affected the national psyche, how we were affected as a whole. You may have been at Westgate or not, but it definitely affected Kenyans in every way. We'll be taking a look at the heroes of Westgate as well, the business side of it, and most importantly, as we do every Sunday on Bottom Line, we'll be taking a look at the way forward. Policy, legislation, security that needs to be put in place, the fight that the government has in the fight against terrorism. And not only that, how can the international community help us in this fight against terrorism. Of course, we all remember that raid that took place in Somalia and the head of Al-Shabaab was killed. Is that a possible solution going forward? So, bottom line, Saturday, Sunday will be the culmination of our special coverage after this edition.
Are you having bottom line time?
It'll be here in Nairobi, obviously, with some significance of the Westgate that took place here in Nairobi. And so we continue to invite you, all our viewers, to stick around with us throughout the week. And Saturday, Sunday, when we have bottom line, take a look at after the siege.
Thank you. Definitely something to look forward to.
Very important conversation. Two women received sanitary towels from a women's group, but to give them peace of mind. KTN's Margaret reports.
It's a week before the world celebrates the International Day of Peace, but at the Eldoret GK prisons, celebrations have already started. The peace being sought here today, however, is a different kind of peace.
I have realized that peace is not only when there is conflict between this community and between the other community. Peace starts with you. And especially now the women in prison.
The women inmates at this prison received a donation of sanitary towels from Comfort Women Group to enable comfort and peace of mind to women who had to get innovative when they were in need but lacked enough resources.
That give some allocation which is done by the government for sanitary pad in prison. The money is not enough because they bring more and more inmates every other day.
Sisi kama serikali tutajaribu sana tuone kwa hadi yenu inakuwa hadi kwa.
For a peaceful and one night, the mothers in prison were given extra blankets for their children, while a free medical camp was set up by the Medihill Hospital. Even in confined for rehabilitation, the World Peace celebrations and donations of some freedom that come with it.
Hate crime, not criminals. You know, Nella was a criminal for 24 years. He became the world hero. Am I correct?
The theme for this year's International Day of Peace is the right of peoples to peace, and so the women can here dance to a peace that is within one. Only they know how grateful they are for the nation. Maskandia KTN, Eldoret, Westgate County.
So from Washington, let's go to a county where for the first time since independence, the first tarmac road is to be constructed within their town. As KTN full reports, the majority of the residents will be setting their eyes on tarmac roads for the first time in their lives.
You might not remember our journey to Wajir town in this Nissan caravan, sandy and rocky roads stretching for 300 kilometers with not in a single millimeter of tarmac.
Ilikuwa inaendesha 25 years gari hapo barabara hii ambapo bali mtu mkoani mimi koma hapa soko tatu bado shida ndio hii.
We are appealing to the president, his excellency the president and his deputy William Ruto and the Jubilee government in general. One day to come and use a vehicle in this road and see how we are serving in this road.
We were attacked 9 times. It was then that a resident of Wajir arrested us in the night. Barely a month later, we advised us of COVID. We got into our double cabin. The type of vehicle used to counter the area's harsh terrain. And rolled twice. Lucky to be alive, all 6 of us on board made with minor injuries and bruises. It took 5 hours before help could come away. But today, a special kind of project was flagged off. One that will kickstart the long journey from years of suffering and marginalization in this known part of Kenya. The Wajir County government launched the construction of the first tarmac road within the county and its environs.
Kufanya lobby ya kuhakikisha ya kwa hiyo barabara ya kutoka Garissa hadi Mandera imepigwa lami. With that single act, we will have been able to integrate this region with the rest of Kenya.
Na unajua lami ikija inakuja na mambo mengi, si ndio?
inakuja na biashara, inakuja na watalii, inakuja na education.
The funds that are remain with the national government should equally be divided with a clear formula. Otherwise, we still have the bigger chunk of money and resources remain at national level.
There are many residents of Westgate County who will be seeing tarmac roads for the first time in their lives when the project is done. KTN.
Talking about development in the northeastern region, the Marsabit County Governor Ukuri Yatani has added a new voice to the Council of Governors. This best Mashinani campaign speaking when he paid the courtesy call on the Standard Group CEO substantially here at the Standard Group Center. The governor also revealed a plan to fast-track the growth and opening up of the county Marsabit.
The revolution, everything for us. For us to pull our people from the poverty.
Marsabit, Kenya's largest county, spanning an area of 70,000 square kilometers, endowed with natural resources. The county has Kenya's largest livestock population, yet with all this wealth, more than 80% of the population live under the poverty line, and the narrative that the county government hope to change through devolution.
The Turkana wind power, located deep inside Marsabit County, has already taken off. Construction have started, and we are going to add 330 megawatts to the grid.
The government is also focusing on improving infrastructure in the county, employment creation, capitalizing on the LAPSET project to boost trade. Key priorities include increasing maternal health facilities, water distribution, and the tourism sector. The Standard Group has partnered with the county to help communicate that development.
We are putting up a radio station in Marsabit. We will work together with your county government to make sure that the development coordination that is going on in Marsabit is shared with the rest of Kenya.
The governor adds that more resources are needed for this agenda.
We are not asking for additional resources. We are only asking for resources that is held up by the national government for functions that have been devolved to the counties. And they stand at more than 180 billion.
But the referendum, the only way.
Referendum is good, but if we can avoid it through mutually discussed agreement, we support that position.
Dorcas Swangira, KTN.
The government has announced a 30% drop in the cost of electricity in the country, starting this month, following an injection of 210 megawatts of additional power to the national grid from geothermal production, displacing the more expensive diesel generation. This is expected to save the economy 21 billion shillings annually, and Philip Kitani tells us how.
Kenya's quest to reduce the current high cost of power seems to be on course, with the additional 210 megawatts to the national grid. The power from all area will see the government retire diesel generation power plants that have made power costly due to the high fuel prices. For the general consumers and manufacturers, this comes as a welcome relief given the high cost of electricity charges from the Kenya Power since June.
Since December, the fuel charge will come down by 73%.
The additional power also comes at a time when the government is stepping up its effort to connect more homes and schools to national grid. Currently, the government has connected 15,157 schools to the national grid, with the remaining 6,067 schools expected to be connected by next year.
We also encourage industry through a negotiated framework to move and do more work at that time, because we leave them at time of use tariff. That's all preferential, and that's what is all signed to deliver a through advantage to the customer.
The government insists the cost of fuel in the country is slowly dropping as they improve efficiency at the port of Mombasa, which has seen reduction of demurrage charges from an initial 12 billion shillings in 2013 to the current 2 billion shillings annually. The reduction expected to be felt by motorists soon. Philip Itan, KTN Business.
In the ever-changing field of payments and solutions, service providers have to keep pace with the dynamism of sector. One such layer is Paynet Group, the operators of the Peso Point ATM network, that's seeking to increase its investment to offer a wide array of services. Paynet is seeking to increase its presence in the mobile money transfer space, as well as develop solutions targeting the government plan for a national e-payment platform. Here now is KTN's Michael Ranger, who had business chat with Group CEO Bernard Mahuman.
The last 10 years have seen remarkable growth in the country's payment industry. Banks have expanded their networks and now have automated teller machines in almost all corners of the country, bring services close to customers. But it is perhaps mobile money has had the greatest impact on society and the extra element of convenience. For the Paynet Group, it is this kind of dynamism that is fueling its future growth strategy by creating a robust system that connects many financial institutions with customers.
I think we're at the point now where most institutions realize delivering all of this removes them so far away from their core business that they do need partners.
Companies connected more than 64 financial institutions, including banks and circles across East Africa. It is this shift to mobile money service that presents vast growth opportunities that Paynet is keen to tap into. The group is working on plans will see customers use their mobile phones at point of sale terminal instead of ATM cards.
So if you look at our business, we're a good blend of the two. We have ATMs that still churn out cash for people who want it. So I think we've got to acknowledge that cash is still there. And yet at the same time, as you say, we also set ourselves up as businesses to make sure that we're at the forefront of these evolutions as we move toward more electronic-based payments.
Paynet plans to create a platform that allows services ranging from ATM and mobile money withdrawals as well as e-payments work seamlessly and using it to create an integrated payment solution as a key growth strategy. Michael Karanja, KTN Business.
The National Treasury is challenging insurance companies to boost capital reserves, which would allow them to develop and introduce innovative products into the market. With insurance penetration at a paltry 3%, Treasury observes the insurance companies have failed to keep pace with an ever-changing market to introduce products that address current challenges. As KTN's Charles Tonga reports, Treasury is working on an insurance bill that could increase market penetration.
Penetration of insurance services in Kenya stands at a mere 3.4%, with uptake of life insurance below 1%. With such dismal statistics, insurance companies in Kenya are being asked to spread their wings further by raising more capital for expansion and developing products that will attract more uptake in the market.
The only way our companies can grow is also build large capital.
This observation comes at a time when a new insurance bill is expected to be tabled before Parliament, and its approval will usher in a fresh supervisory environment in the industry. Even when with the new developments, players in the global insurance industry continue to express their interest in the Kenyan market. One such is UK-based Prudential PSLC, which has acquired 100% of Shield Assurance. Prudential plans to invest 1.5 billion shillings for the next few months. Treasury brands prepares to begin settling more than 200 million shillings in unpaid life insurance benefits that has matured.
We believe Africa, Kenya in particular, will play a key role in Prudential's future.
The London, New York, Hong Kong and Singapore listed life insurance provider has operations in US, UK and Asia, and Kenya is its second African market after Ghana and will be the hub of operations in East Africa. Its entry is expected to start competition in the life insurance market, which has been growing at 20% every year. Charles Gionga, KTN Business.
New Gor Mahia coach Frank Nathel has vowed to go for maximum points in the remaining 8 Kenyan Premier League matches. The league defending champions will tomorrow afternoon play with Lindsay Stars at the City Stadium.
Frank Nathel, who on Wednesday will mark his 14th this season, being unveiled as Gor Mahia head coach, seems to have settled in well with the Green Army. This is despite the fact that defeat record will win his first league match against Tusker Silasan. Gor Mahia take on Linz this Stars tomorrow. Kogalo will be soldiers to Manina first leg clash at the Fraha Stadium Nakuru.
I'm happy with the staff. I'm happy with what we're doing behind the scenes with regard to our technical stuff. So no, those are not doing. I'm very happy with the decisions that are made within the club.
After Wednesday's match against Linz Stars, Gor Mahia will now be remaining in 7 matches on the card before the end of the EPL season come November.
He's just taken Ken off from where his coach ball left, and from what we shown one over the weekend, something that the coach has brought to the team, in which we are so much happy.
Currently, Gor Mahia are ranked second on the Kenya Premier League, standing 43 points behind Sofapaka. Tasa are third with 41 points, similar to Chelsea Sugar. Coach Nato is the winner of the Intersense title chase with the top 4.
Like everyone else, I want to win. I want to win everything I do. So I'm up for challenge.
If Linz Stars of 31 points beat Gor Mahia, they will come from position 8 to 5. Victor Ogale, KTN Sports.
And Moi Stadium in Embu will this weekend host the inaugural Embu Sevens tournament that has already attracted over 50 teams who are keen participating. Elsewhere than going into banks games at the Kenya School of Monetary Studies and at the semi-final stage today. While inspecting the stadium, rugby club chairman Moses Kabane said rugby is rapidly becoming popular among the youth in the region. Organizers of different sevens events visiting the Kaberi Sevens, Meru Sevens, and the Masaku Sevens in preparations for the Embu Sevens to ensure it reaches the highest standard. And to the inaugural Sense extravaganza in Embu will be free of charge in a bid to attract as many residents as possible. Kangaroo High School, Embu University College, and St. Mark's Kigari Teachers Training College are amongst the secondary schools and colleges that have been brought on board from the county team.
It's actually one of its kind. It's here in Embu. It's the first sevens tournament we're having.
Elsewhere, Kenya Commercial Bank, Equity Bank, Cooperative Bank, and Bank of Africa made it to football semi-finals of the ongoing inter-bank games at the Kenya School of Monetary Studies. In basketball, defending champions Equity Bank are on course to retain men's title, which they won last year. They currently top pool A after the unbeaten run of three matches with 6 points. In the ladies category, Cooperative Bank still occupies summit with 5 points after 3 matches played. In the ladies volleyball competition, Equity Club but Commercial Bank of Africa 3-0. Post Bank beat Family Bank 3-0, while Central Bank lost to CBA 1-3.
Is the South Sudanese government justified in asking foreigners to quit jobs in favor of locals? That was the big question tonight.
This is how you call 74% of you say no, and 26% say yes.
And FNL style says international law requires a state to treat foreigners in the equal manner as locals. South Sudan is wrong.
Charles Kinda on Twitter says you do not fire people, you transition your citizens to occupy those positions.
Akina Benabo says no, the move will create more solid relations with foreigners, especially their neighboring countries.
And Frico Kango says South Sudan cannot support us without the expertise from other countries for now.
Great, sleep well. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Linda Gutu.
Many thanks for your company. My name is Ben Kitili. Good night from the KTN News Center.